Welcome to the second edition of Pool Funding Insights and Updates. We did update everyone right away today before pressing the record button that we now have an 8-hour timer after the 20-hour timer instead of a 4.5-hour timer. So when we originally started pool funding, it was a 20-hour timer and then a 4-hour timer where you'd have a payment button on the 4-hour timer. That got expanded later to 4.5 hours that you with a pay now button. And then as of less than 24 hours ago, so something like maybe like 18 hours ago, we updated the website and the software so that you'd have an 8-hour timer that comes after the 20-hour timer. So that gives you 28 hours per day to make your daily payment. What this really means is you have like a 4-hour buffer that you don't have to use. You can just make your payment at the same time every day. And you'll notice that when you're making your payment at the same time every day, that your timer still says you have 4 hours to go till it hits 0. Well, that's going to be perfectly normal, okay? Because you have an 8-hour timer added to a 20-hour timer, meaning that if you make your payment at the 24-hour mark, that leaves 4 hours left over on the 8-hour timer. So just get used to seeing that when you make your payment, that just in case, when you're making your payment at the same time every day, things come up, emergencies, power outages, even internet outages. There are things that happen that can be temporary, that might only last for a few minutes or for a few hours. And you'll be very grateful that you had that 4-hour buffer in case it does happen. And because of the nature of the how it works, you have a 4-hour buffer both directions. So let's say you made your payment, at 27 hours today because of some emergency. Well, tomorrow you can go back to making your payment at the same time you normally would, which would be at 3 hours before that, right? So because you have a 4-hour window, basically what happens is the 20-hour timer starts at the moment that you click that pay now button. And that's when the 20 hours starts. It doesn't look at what you did yesterday or the day before. It's looking at when you make the payment now, and then that's when the 20-hour timer starts. That means if you have an 8-hour timer with a pay now button, that you have actually 4 hours that you can use to bring it back down to your normal time. So if you ever were an emergency, it should only take like maybe the next day to reset it back to the normal time. And I think people are going to love that. And it's going to make it so they don't have to use so much of their memory. What time am I making my payment? Because it's going to be the same time every day. And we'll probably see people not using the assurance as much, which means that we should be able to pay more guarantees. If we pay out less assurances per day, we'll be able to pay out more guarantees per day. And this is the reason we've made the change in the first place, is I'm hoping to make more guarantee payments instead of assurance payments. I think that benefits the community better. Okay, we all benefit by this making this change. All right, so moving on. We also just released a video about the HODL Knot offer is coming to an end. So we just released that a few hours ago. And it's a great production. If you are a HODL Knot, most likely you are in the video somewhere. You could probably find your picture in there somewhere. Your bright shiny face will show up probably in there somewhere. Look for it. It may flash. Some people, the way the software I'm using works is I didn't really have control over how long certain things are. So some people got just little flashes of themselves. Other people got to stay for what seemed like an eternity, but it was just kind of how the software works. But I tried to get everybody's that had taken advantage of the HODL Knot program. I tried to get everybody included, in the video. So pretty confident, well over 90% for sure that took advantage of the hot or not offers already. They're in this particular video, so it's kind of going to be a fun, nostalgic piece of entertainment in the future, long after the hot or not program has ended. We have set to terminate the hot or not program on August 31st of this year, 2024. Now, I'm going to show you the charts. I'm going to show you kind of what's going on here, okay? So let me share my screen. Let's talk about why we started the hot or not program in the first place. Let's go back in time. Let's see if we can get to the beginning of the whole, PFB, the start of it. So let's do a little history together, okay? All right, here we go. This is the beginning over here, okay? The price started at $100 per PFB coin on day number one, and that day happened to be January 4th, 2024, okay? And then within the first day, the price was able to go to, let's just zoom in real close here. Let's take a look at it. So on the first day, let's see here, that's the third. Yeah, according to this, it's saying the third, but it'd be the fourth here in the Philippines. Okay. All right. That's the third. That's the third. That's the third. That says the third. That's still the third. Okay, here we go. All right, so we had a high on the first day of almost $5,000, guys. We went from $100 to $4,848 on the very first day. And then on the second day, okay, the price ended up going looks like the price had a high of $5,200, okay? So you can see it just immediately shot right up, okay? So the strategy we're using was working immediately. If you go in the first 7 days, we did end up at over $10,000 within our very first 7 days. Okay, think about that, guys. Let's get the opinion of people listening to me right now. Put this on the speaker view. What do you guys think about a coin that launches and in its first 7 days goes to $10,000 per coin? What do you guys think about that?
That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I mean, surprising, right? Just where do you see that, right? And we got something better to share with you once I get done with PFB. We'll go to PFI and take a look what happened on its first day. Even more amazing. All right, we go back to sharing my screen. Share. Okay, now, if we go into this and we go to the first all-time high, okay, the first all-time high for the coin, and we were thrilled when it was getting into the $20,000 range, like, holy cow, right? But it kept on going. It got up to 30,000, and it kept on going, and it got up to 35,000. And then it had a point where it just shot up $64,000. That happened within the very first 6 weeks. Okay. Now, at that particular time, Bitcoin's all-time high was about $64,000. Okay. And it had been around since like 12 years, more like Bitcoin started in 2009. Been more than 12 years, like 15 years, right? So maybe it took Bitcoin 14 years, something like that. Something between 12 to 14 years before it got the price up to $64,000. Our coin got to $64,000 in its first 6 weeks. We're making an impression. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So our history is very powerful here. Now I'm going to continue to share. Okay, now then we came back down after it hit that high of 64,000. We had some peaks and valleys here. The next peak up was about 50,000. So it didn't come and climb over that 64. And then after that, the next peak after that was like 44,000. Then the next peak after that was all the way down at 34,000. So you can see here this declining set of peaks here. Okay, let me just put a line on it to make it real clear. Okay, what's going on there? So we grab that, something like that there. So this is what we're looking at here. Okay. So we can look at how it was, it was coming down in price, right? Down, down, and down as far as the peaks were going. But notice at the bottom of this thing, how if we take and put a line on the bottom of it, we had a pretty decent steady bottom that was actually on the incline, but it was a slight incline. You guys see that there? Okay, you see the bottom here that I made in blue lines. Okay, right there. So they got the tops here and the bottom there. Well, this is a breakout pattern. Okay, it's going to break out, and it did break out to the upside and ended up going to about 58,000. Okay, in the high there. And that's mentioned in that video. But then after it hit that particular high, by the time we got to the end of May, we had drifted all the way down here. Okay. We had drifted all the way down to about $16,000 here. Okay. We're down to 16,000. So right about there, this is the 31st of May right there. Right about there, I'm thinking, okay, something must be done. We decided to launch our new coin, the PFI coin, and that was launched on June 4th. Okay. June 4th of 2024. So let's see. Yeah, probably here. It'd be June 3rd over here in Philippines. So something like in this range here. Anyway, there's a time difference between here and there. And I think this chart's based on American time. So we decided to launch our HODL program right about here as a way to kind of get this thing off. And I originally said the price target was going to be $90,000. We wanted $90,000 with the price of PFP 16,000. We were chewing up coin way too fast at 16,000, right? We were putting too much coin into circulation, right? So the whole point is you want this little coin going into circulation as possible in order to get a rising price. Okay, now fast forward to the end of June. Okay, and well, first of all, before we fast forward, let's go look at PFI real quick. Okay, share my screen. So I believe we broke a world record with PFI. So we change charts to PFI. And we look at day one. We're a little bit of a dip right now. Okay, I can fix that. In fact, I'll probably do that live while we're here. But before I fix that dip, if we take a look at day one here, it started here at about $1,000 per coin. Okay. And on the very first day, it got all the way up to $45,000 on day number one. $45,000. What do you guys think about that?
Incredible.
Incredible.
On
Not
PFI?
bad for a
Amazing.
$1 program.
Yeah, and there's 10 million of those coins, whereas there's only 1 million PFP coins, so there's 10 million PFI coins. And the fact that it went to 45,000 on its very first day, like we obviously had something working pretty well. Okay. Now I see a little bit of a dip. So look, if HODL knots sell, because I've never sold a penny. I purchased PFI, but I've never sold any of it. Not since the day it started, not since January, not January, but June 4th of 2024. Haven't sold a cent of PFI. But if a HODL knot sells, they have, they're getting coin they can sell. But they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot if they do that. And there's only a few of them anyway. So let me just show you how we'll remedy that. I'll remedy it right before your eyes. Okay. Show your screen. Okay. This is how we can remedy that because I'm not happy with the current price. Or I take that back. It shot back up on its own to 10,027. But I'll just do a little demonstration here because I think it's worth noting what the power here is. Okay. If we take the current value of PFB, let's take a look where we're situated. Okay, so the current value is 133,000 at the moment, right at this moment in time. So if I go in here and I check the tokens, okay, we've got about $31 there. I want to add to that. I want to go swap. We'll change this to PFB. We're going to sell PFB. We're going to get USDT. All right. So 0.0, if I put a 1, that'd be 1%, right?
Right.
But I'm not going to do 1%. Okay. If I do a 1 here, that'd be a 1/10 of 1%, right?
Right.
Okay. But let's say we're not going to do that. Let's just put 3 zeros and we'll put a 5. How much is that going to give us? 64. Actually, I do want to do more than that. So I'm going to go back, and let's do a 5 here. So this would be a half of, no, that's too much. Let's go 2, 5. Perfect. That's about where I wanted to go. Okay. So that's about $300, right? And it's a quarter of 1%, right? You understand the math?
Right. Right.
So we'll swap, and we'll swap out. You can watch the impact on the chart live here. Real transparency you guys are getting here. Showing you all the magic tricks, okay?
And we appreciate that, Ace.
It is not really that, magical after all. Okay. So the price dropped down to 128,000 from 133. We can live with that, right? We can live with that. But over here, we're going to go and we're going to swap USDT. Let's take 300 of that. Just an even 300. Whoop, not 3,000, 300. Let's put PFI here, PFI. And continue swapping. What kind of impact is that going to have on the price? We know it was just barely 10,000 a second ago. It says it's got a 9.6 slippage, so quite a bit of slippage, but it's under 15%. So I'm comfortable with anything less than 15%. And we're going to go ahead and make a purchase. So what kind of impact did that have? We can check over here. Okay, for $300. Okay. 10 times as many coins. Okay. Price went up $1,000. Not bad, right? And that's how it works. Okay. So if you look at our market cap, this one has a market cap of 110,000, sorry, $110 billion. So there's $110 billion market cap. The way you should look at that is like, think of it as your money as the community. That, that 110 billion is your community money, right? We want to get that out of the market into the pockets of the community, right, guys?
Right.
Okay. And then over here, we've got 128 billion. Okay. 128 billion. And the real difference here is the fact that there's only 1 million supply of total coins here versus over here, there's a 10 million supply of coins, right? So that's how the math works out. Was that educational?
Yes, it was.
Okay, there you go. Now, you just need to understand that the supply of both coins is being watched by my ever watchful eye to minimize as much of it as possible in circulating supply. And it's another reason why we're ending the HODLNOT program, because in a way we're adding to the supply of the PFI coin, right? We've added quite a bit to that, but in relative terms, it's pretty small, okay? Let's take a look at those numbers, just so we're very clear what those numbers look like. Share screen, share again. Okay. So if you take a look at PFB, okay, see this is the PFB chart here, okay? So this is PFB, and it's on the blockchain. This is the blockchain scanner, okay? And you can see out of the 1 million coin, okay, there's only about 9 coin circulating. You see that there, guys? See if I can make that real big. That might help a little bit. See how there's only 9 coins circulating out of 1 million? You guys, okay, good. Notice how this account here has got almost 7 of those coins. I know that's a weird number, but anyway, just kind of ended up that way. And this is a stable, that this number hasn't changed for a while. It's been like that for a while. Same thing with this number. That's also one of our HODLNOTs. They've just been sitting on that number. The number's not changing. Okay. And this right here, this is the guarantee. Okay. So if you look at the guarantee, A32 77832. Okay. That's the guarantee wallet. This one's climbing up. You'll notice that it was all the way down at 13% or 13% of a coin, right? And now it's at almost 18% of a coin. Earlier, it was at 18% of a coin. Okay. And, I've basically been absorbing as people make their monthly payments, as people purchase assurance, it makes this number go up. Okay. And, we have some HODLNOTs in here. Most of the people in the first page here, most of these are HODLNOTs. Okay. Most of the people on the first 50, are HODLNOTs. Okay. Not all of them, but most of them. Okay. Anyway, there's very, very few coins out of the million circulating. And then over here, you have the contract. This contract here, that is the PancakeSwap liquidity pool. Okay. That's why it's got a contract in the front. Notice that the other ones don't have contracts in the front. Just look through it here. Notice that all of these, there's only one that has that little contract in the front. And that means it's part of the liquidity pool. That's how you know, okay? So basically, the PancakeSwap is using 2 versions on the it's got the PFB version here, This one here is against B&B. And then this version down here, this pancake one down here, is for the USDT. Okay. So you got less than 1%, like a little bit more than a half of 1% sitting in the USDT pancake swap, ready to swap. And then in the B&B version, you've got about a little over 1% of a coin, okay, available. So what happens when someone comes in with a large HODL knot and they just buy up all that coin and just sit on it? Boom, price will go up so hard it will stay up, okay? And this is kind of what I'm hoping happens before the end of the month. I hope we get, ideally we get to 500,000 before the end of the month, and we just keep it above 500,000 the entire time. And see, the whole point of pool funding is an idea of cooperation instead of competition, okay? If we start collaborating instead of competing, this world will be a much better place, okay? All right, I'll wrap up with David. What's on your mind, David? You got your hand up.
Yes, two things. As I was wondering, with the HODL Knot program, and now that we've got the extra 4 hours, and that's going to be the HODL Knot's going to be going away soon. How is that going to affect the price, and what made it go down so much after it went up so much? Like,
Well, I mean, every day that there has to be some sales made, to pay for assurances and whatnot, that's affecting the price for sure, right? And if you had in the HODL Knot program, purchased some PFP and then ended up selling it back in USDT before Christmas, that impacts it too. So those are the kind of things that happened. We would like to discourage HODL Knots from doing that, because the whole point is to hold on for dear life, not just the PFI coin, but also the PFP coin. Okay, both of them. Don't sell them back, because you and the entire community benefit by just holding, right? And then so we want to stress that even more. But there's only a few people that we need that message to go out to, the people that are HODL Knots, the ones in the spacesuits. Okay. So we shouldn't see too much of an impact there. But the main thing is increasing the buying pressure. Right now we got buying pressure, roughly 3 to 5 people joining per day, okay, that are coming up with $100 worth of PFB. What happens when that gets to 30 people per day? What happens when it gets to 300 people per day, 3,000 people per day? We could easily be at 3,000 people per day purchasing $100 of PFB by Christmas. When you start to look at, we're going into that high growth phase right now. So many different lead programs, AI, different things. We've got so many different things going on right now that's just going to help us explode the numbers and make them grow exponentially. Because to be really successful in pool funding, you need 4 referrals. That's how you get to become millionaire status. And if 4 people got 4 people got 4 people got 4 people, you do the math, it ends up being big numbers. Just the first like three layers of that. 4 people get 16 people, get 64 people. Look how fast the numbers grow just from 1 to 4, 4 to 16, 16 to 64. Okay, multiply that times 100, multiply that times 1,000. And then you'll see that by the time we get into December, these numbers should be very large, putting all kinds of positive buying pressure onto the coin, way more than we're experiencing right now. And with the small amount that we're getting right now, we're keeping the price well above 100,000. Just imagine the power we'll have when we have, 10, 20, maybe even 100 times that much pressure happening by the time we get to December, and how the price can be, stabilized well above 100,000, maybe above 200,000, maybe even higher on both PFB and PFI. All right. Well, I lied. Let's go ahead and give Gregory Jones the last chance to say something. He's got his hand back up. Go ahead, Gregory.
I will show my older self here.
All right, there you go. Hello.
Two quick things. 2 things. One is I want to get on your schedule for after the Thursday meeting. Thursday meeting
Okay.
because it's payday for me and I want to do the Huddle Nut again.
All right.
And then the
March favorite.
second thing is, and I'll open up. I don't mind telling everybody this. So I've been a member of pool funding for multiple months now, and yet this whole time I've only have one referral. Well, not to put pressure on you, Ace, or anything for tomorrow night, but I have a patient of mine that's attending the meeting tomorrow, as well as not one, not two, but three people from the Leads Leap program that are going to attend the meeting. So I want you to put on a good show tomorrow night.
You can count on it for sure, 100%.
I appreciate that. Ace.
I'll give you a great show. It'll be the best show ever. So yeah, and look, like you said, you had one for the longest time, and then suddenly you've got three all at one time, taking a look, which is probably more activity you've had in any given week than you've ever had. And it's really a combination of things. One is, you're basically aligning yourself with the universe that rewards you accordingly, right? So a lot of it is conquering that self-doubt, conquering those inward fears that nobody talks about. We keep that stuff to ourselves, don't we? Right? We don't usually, break out with all of our worries and all of our doubts and all of our fears. We kind of just like, it's just like noise that we constantly hear. But at some point when you conquer it, it's like you're at peace. Are you feeling more peaceful right now? You feel more peace?
I'll feel more peaceful if at least one of those
It'll help.
four leads turns into
You
a
want
pool
it,
funding member.
that way you have positive cash flow for sure. But yeah, what will happen as you're getting stronger on the inside, the outward world changes, and that's part of the impact. And
If you don't mind, I have to give a shout out to my close friend Steve Thompson, because honestly, I was getting frustrated with the Leads Leap program because I had sent 2 texts, 2 emails, and had done 2 phone calls to all 19 people that I had gotten through that program. And I almost have given up on it, but I decided, this afternoon at lunchtime, I'll take my lunch and I'll send out the announcement about this meeting tomorrow night. And so 3 people responded that they would like to attend the meeting. So shout out to Steve for telling me to stick with them.
there you go. That's it. And fortune is always made in the follow-up. So you're learning that as well, right?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, excellent. You can count on a good show tomorrow. That's for our opportunity meeting tomorrow on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. we do an opportunity meeting, whereas this is referred to as like a training. It's been rebranded as Pool Funding Insights and Updates. Edmund, can you make it quick?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay.
You had indicated that the Howl Nut is going to increase about 10 times by Christmas, right?
Maybe 100 times. I'm more expecting over 100 times. Oh,
Okay.
Wait. You're talking about the value of your coin.
Yes.
Yeah. So like if you put $100 in, like you're basically converting $100 of USDT over to PFB. So that's you doing something $100 worth, right? And the
Right.
idea of that activity, because we've given you a unit of PFI, which in this case, if you only did 100, for example, I know you did more than that, but if you only did 100, that you get 1% of a PFI, right? And then the idea between the PFB and the PFI, both are on their way up. By the time you get to Christmas, you should have a stable 10x offer where we'll have price stability, where you have $1,000 there in value that you could just cash out. Each unit would be worth $1,000, right?
Okay.
So $100 today, $1,000 at Christmas.
All right. You haven't mentioned it, but what if somebody held it until March or April of next year? Is it going to continue to go up?
There's always potential for more upward. I mean, the upward incline of where we want to go, if you're in here, if you're paying attention to what's going in between my ears, and I leak it out once in a while that, hey, we are heading to 1 billion people because we want to have that much of a change. We want the whole idea of what we're doing to catch on, right? You know, and we've got, if you go to my vision video, which you can see that on YouTube, you can go to YouTube and look for the vision of what we're doing here in pool funding. We're our target is 1 billion people. Just like Facebook got to 1 billion. I mean, most like YouTube's well over 1 billion, Google's well over 1 billion. We want to be one of those large things because as an idea, it's time. People want to get paid daily and people want money that they don't have to pay back. I think those are gigantic offers. I think we
Right.
got a better deal than Facebook. I think we got a better deal than Google. I think we got a better deal than any of these guys. You know, they might be putting their stuff out there for free, you know, in a way, but what we have to offer is so big and it's going to catch on and people are going to go, it makes sense. Fortune 500 companies do what we are doing every day of the week. They're, you know, so if they can do it as a group, we can do it as a group. The identical thing. That's how we're doing it.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So that's it, guys. I think that was great. So basically, we covered 2 things today. The 8-hour timer is now working. It seems to be working well. And that gives people almost 4 hours more than they were getting before to make their payments on time. Should be no problem. Make your payment at the same time every day. And we also talked about the Hodl Knot program is coming to an end. It wasn't meant to be a long-term thing. The people that do take advantage of it before the end of August, you know, August 31st is the last day of the Hodl Knot program. September 1st, it's no more, right? And so get as much units as you can between now. If you're already Hodl Knot, you can come back and get more before the end of the month. And you know, but take advantage of it while you can because you know, it's coming to an end. And I don't know where else you could go and have so much assurance that you're going to get you know, a very large, like multiple return on you know, putting some money to work, right? Money that probably is just going to sit there and collect dust between now and Christmas anyway, in maybe a savings account or something like that. A lot of people keep, you know, a couple $100 in the savings account, and literally the bank doesn't pay you anything for it. They just hold on to your money for you and give you nothing in return. You put the money over here, you know, you might end up having a better Christmas than you would have had because, you know, a
Oh,
couple
come
hundred.
on, banks
No,
pay you 0.0008 or something.
yeah, they might pay you like nothing. There's a few zeros in there, like you mentioned, but you know,
Wrong side though.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fact is, by the time they charge all their fees, you're in the negative for sure, right? So you could put money in the bank. I don't care if it's a savings account or a checking account. Just put it in there and watch the fees eat it up faster than any kind of interest they're going to pay. You know, so you know, a lot of stuff won't even last a year if you leave it in the bank the way their fees go. You know, so but you don't have to put a whole lot in. How not $100, $1,000, whatever is a little bit to you. You know, take advantage of that. Put it over here. Put it to work because you know we're not talking 6 months out anymore. We're at this point we're talking about 4 months, 4.5 months until Christmas, and I'm very confident that we'll have that price stability by that point. We'll make the announcement. Yep, price is stable. Hodl Knots, feel free to unleash if you'd like to. Shouldn't really have that much of an impact. As long as we have the growth that I'm expecting, should be no problem. Okay. And it's all, you know, everything is contingent on growth, guys. Growth is the answer. Growth is the way forward. Okay. So we want to embrace everything that helps us to grow fast. And for people to climb from the $1 pool to the $10 pool, from the $10 pool to the $100 pool, and so on. And you know, we hope to open up that $100 pool soon, right? We're you know we've got a page up there asking for you guys to let us know that you're ready. And when we see that 100 of you are ready, then we'll go ahead and open up the $100 pool. And then we'll do the same thing with the $1,000 pool, and hopefully have no problem opening that up in October. That's always been the plan, is to open it in October. So hopefully that's the case. And you know, we're putting people on track by the end of the year to be millionaires and have a millionaire lifestyle to go with it. All right, so that's it. This is a little bit longer training than normal, but it was a very, very good one. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording now. Let me just switch the view here to gallery. And everybody, you can go ahead and unmute and say bye for now. See you later. Okay.
Hello,
bye-bye.
goodbye for now.
Everybody.
See you later.
Have a good night, everyone.